Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is me again, end of the line. Looking at a first to 10 that I did quite recently with the wonderful, the amazing Kheim. My apologies for the quality of the video. Gonna try and slowly figure out a way to make sure that these look a little bit better, but for the most part, I'm pretty happy with how it went. I made an awful lot of mistakes, and the Serpent Hunter versus the Halberd Dagger or Halberd Estoc matchup is a little bit tough for me. I'm still figuring it out, but hopefully we'll be able to figure out together. And if you are interested in taking a look at Kheim and his work, there will be links down below to where you can find him. But I think, ladies and gents, we're just going to crack on. And we are, of course, going to be using the int setup. So I'm going for cold. I'm going to try and proc him with cold, and then I'm going to try and use that mix then and swap over to a magic weapon so we get optimal damage. Frost proc becomes very useful in this matchup, just as another means of getting a person into stun. It really plays into the halberd and where it shines. We're going to see Kheim here just waiting out here. We have very low latency. France to Ireland, of course, very good, and I'm able to get that roll catch along with the dagger. Follow up right off the bat, I go for the R2 there, not quite up to land. I backstep into a follow up R1, and I'm pretty confident here. Rolling out that standing R, the crouch R1 there on the side of Kheim. He goes for another one. I pressure him after that roll catch. I dead angle the Halberd crouch R1, which of course is a favourite of mine. I dead angle it again, managing to catch him off guard. He does have me here in the spot of bother. I'm going to panic roll. He hits me there with the running. I managed to proc his tier. We're both pretty much even here. One or two mistakes from both of us I unlock there on the roll to try and get maximum damage. He hits me there with the standing R1, and then I clip him there with the backstab. Of course, you can backstab Shunter. It's one of the real advantages of going up against it, being able to strafe the R1s, assuming that they don't themselves use an unlocked standing R1 or an unlocked rolling attack. Pressuring him, I take the opportunity there to get the little bit of pressure. Whiffed something there. Go for another crouch R1. Hope I can catch him again. However, he does have a better frames on, of course, his standing R1s, and that's going to be able to interrupt me. Even if it is I'm half health, he hasn't been hit yet. I go for the dead angled R2 to try and catch him off guard again. Not quite able to. I'm panic rolling here. This is a really bad showing here from me. I managed to clip him there. My tier is procced. I'm in a spot of bother. He goes for another one, expecting another potential roll catch. Unlocks yet again, tries to go for another one there to try and catch me unaware. I'm not having any of it. I'm under so much pressure here. He has the ability to catch me off guard constantly. I managed to get him with just a little bit of damage. I go for that, and then he gets the hyper armor there off the standing R1, and that completely throws me off, making it a 1-1. And it's kind of downhill from here, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. I'm struggling to try and figure out when I can and cannot attack him. He has good frames, the ability to vortex really effectively. We meet in the middle there. He goes for a jump attack. I completely mess up my dead angle there, go for a running, try and keep him at bay. I walk into that one. I shouldn't have gotten away with it. He's standing R1s. He mixes up the timings beautifully. He's going to catch me again. The jump R2 comes out. Not quite sure. I don't believe I landed all that many of those, and now he has me in a bad spot. I go for a jump, which wasn't really a good idea. Shunter has remarkably good anti-air, and I'm just clipping him away here with the dagger. He calls it out. I go for a strafe and end up eating a considerable amount of damage, bringing it to a 2-1 to Kheim here. Again, I go for the physic here. I'm still on the magic. Under normal circumstances, I would have swapped over to cold, but I'm trying to experiment with whether or not the magic right off the bat is worth it for the extra damage. Not really seeing an opportunity here. I'm going to hit him with the dagger, force the rollback. He was just out of range. He is keeping that pressure. He wants to stay in and not allow me to play my game. I go for the run, manage to clip him with the dagger. He tries to go for the backstab, but I'm having none of it. I try and clip him there with the crouch R1. Not quite able to do it. And now we're back in that neutral. That neutral is where I really exceed here, because I can whiff punish, I can space him, but it's not going to be enough. Clipping him back out there, forcing him on the retreat. I go for standing R1, not quite able to make it. Go for those jumps in there to try and get a little bit of pressure. Catching him once again here with the crouch R1s. I'm able to walk out of an awful lot of his stuff. We go for the trade there, his hyper armor coming in clutch. I clip him with the dagger. We're about even, I believe. The run R2 is a mistake. This is something I need to stop doing. It works in the arena. It doesn't work against competent players. He goes back then, another standing R1 then to try and pressure me off. He switches to the... I'm trying to catch him in menus here, but unfortunately I'm not quite able to do it. The jump R1 there just to throw him off. He sees the jump attack, he's going to expect one thing. Completely misspaced it there. He tries to go for the R2 because he senses a backstab. I'm having none of it. The Frostpot comes out, almost managing to punish that there with the run R1, but the recovery is just a little bit too fast in that. I think about changing to something in my menus. Probably a bit of a mistake when the match is this close. I'm not much of a person to use menus. He goes for a jump and he punishes the call out there on the dagger. Not quite sure why I thought the dagger was the play there. Might have forgotten that we were on Hall dagger rather than Hall stock. It is of course round 5, 3-1. I'm in a spot of bother here. He switches over to the Halberd and I believe the Veteran's Prosthesis in this case here. He's going to be looking to try and leverage those combos. He's going to hang back, goes for the jump R1. I hold onto the R1 hoping to go for a roll catch, but he's having none of it. I sense a backstab in the making, so I counter pressure there with the crouch R1. Interesting here in this matchup. I think Hall Dagger theoretically wins it, all being equal, but I tried to go for the jump there. Unfortunately, not going to happen. The crouch could have landed on my side there as an anti-air, but I'd have to dead angle it correctly. He catches me there with an R2. Bad showing here from me. I'm really on the ropes. I'm under an awful lot of pressure, and I don't really know why. Goes for the prosthesis punish there. He could be able to finish me. Try and pressure him off there with the standing R1. Not quite able to make it, and then I just misroll. Playing reactively against Halberd, there's no real excuse for it. I should be able to just stand there and reaction roll pretty much everything. Just fumbled a roll there. I'm not even going to put that one down to a input drop. That's quite literally just a skill issue. Kheim here is very dominant. We go for a trade. He's probably going to win it. He is on physical. I still for whatever reason haven't decided to swap off at the status here in this matchup, but I can make it easier. And I just eat an awful lot of damage. I'm looking for mixes. He doesn't use them. He doesn't need to. If I'm in his face, he can just slap me around the place. Goes for the R2, goes over me. And then I just misspace there on that one. I'm used to fighting against Banished Knight Halberd, which is slightly less range. The veteran standard, the commander standard, sorry, has a huge amount of range on me. So it actually wins this neutral game. And having Storm Stomp is not really relevant here unless I'm able to get that. I apparently go for a trade. He unlocks here in this case here. I managed to clip him there myself. I go for the R1. He's going to try and pressure me off here. Really nice mix game. Catches me. I finally, now that I realize I have the ability to poise chip him with the dagger, tried to go for my own jump R2. Not good. It's a knowledge check more so than a consistent means of getting damage. He forces me back off again. I managed to actually space that. Mixing up between the run R1s and of course, go for that trade there. However, I read that he was going to go for an R1 after it. I was going to try and strafe it. He called me out. Beautiful play there on the side of Kheim. Just simply slaps me away. And there we are. We're just waiting to get everyone in. Probably setting up the scoreboard again. It's round 8. It is 6-1. This is a bad time. I need to find some way to figure out how to make a comeback here. He's back on Shunter once again, and you know it's a pure skill differential that's being on display here. He manages to pressure me again. He probably read that I was going to go for a backstab attempt there, hence he goes for the R2. He's probably experimenting with it. I have no ability to interrupt apart from catching him off guard there. The aim punch saves me just a little bit, and I managed to escape the vortex. Panic rolls notwithstanding. We're on super low lat, so you should be able to do most of it on reaction rather than on prediction. Manages to clip me there once again. I'm forced back. I go for the backstab. I do manage to get it. I believe what he said to me afterwards was something to the effect of, I dead angled that. I'll go more next time. And I believe that's one of the last of the backstabs that I'm actually able to get in this set. I'm not sure. We'll soon find out, as it is now 2-6. And here we have it. I'm playing an awful lot more carefully, an awful lot more reserved, because if I let him in, I'm going to be in a huge amount of bother. I go for that. I missed the roll there, which is super unfortunate, and he continues to pressure me off of it, keeping him back there. The dagger is a really useful tool. And I am experimenting this matchup between the difference between whole dagger and whole stock. Whole stack has an awful lot going for it. It takes me there in the middle, and that's just... Ooh, no pressure, no excuses to be landing some of these. Although, I take back my earlier statement. I do manage to get more backstabs on him, and this is a pure mistake. I expected him to roll out of it because that's what he'd done last time. I go for a punish, try and catch him off guard there again. I'm going to be doing this little wiggles, trying desperately to find some way to throw him off his game. He's going to go for a jump. Not going to be whiff punished for that, and then I just flat out miss a roll. Again, my roll discipline needs a considerable amount of work. I was just completely caught off guard with it. It felt like there was a bit of phantom range in that, but that is purely deceiving, ladies and gents. We have like 30 ping. We're super close. He's now going to stay in the background, standing R1 there to try and catch me off. Goes for jumping. I'm going to pressure him. I'm going to manage to clip him there on that one. Force back once again. Just look at that. He's going for that animation blending by using the crouches. Makes it very difficult for me to tell. The jumping R1 finally does actually manage to clip him. I force him back. We're probably about even here. And I manage to get that anti-air I was talking about earlier. It's a handy trick to have that you do have to make them aware. I managed to get another backstab. Don't manage to tier skip him there. That was a complete misinput of mine. I go for the Storm Stomp. It just means that hopefully the dagger is able to poise break him. Unfortunately, a ghost hit in the Halberd ruined all that hard work. Out comes the Beast Roar there. Clip him once again, and that is going to be the first reset, taking us into round 11. Still 2-7 on the scorecard here, which is just not ideal for me as I go for my physic. Taking a prawn, taking that opportunity as I have it. He's going to sit there, sitting pretty in the backfield, waiting for me to try and come to him. We're going to go back for that jittery movement again to try and catch him off. Not going to be able to do it. I'm not falling for it that time. Going in here, I am going to set up for the roll catch. Unfortunately, he calls out the dagger afterwards. The dagger is a really useful tool. Gives me the opportunity to... If he reads that I'm going to go for the halberd, I can kind of punish him and get out for free. Should have gone there for a bit of backstab pressure. I go for it again. He's slowly but surely figuring out. I have swapped over to the status effect on it now, just so I have the ability to take him. I'm sitting just outside of his range, waiting for that opportunity to whiff punish. I go for the R2. It's going to get that frost proc. I almost get the anti-air, not quite able to make it though, and you see the amount of pressure he's able to output there. The crouch R1 comes out to try and keep him off me for that a little bit longer, and he's now under a little bit of pressure himself. However, that pressure is not going to matter as I end up getting roll caught by an R2. Oof. That was my one opportunity to try and get a little bit of a clawback. I unfortunately did not take it. 2-8 in Kheim's favour. It's a substantial one. It is doable in Elden Ring of all games to be able to get those comebacks just because the raw damage numbers are as big as they are. I've swapped over to Hall stock here, managing to get that little bit of a love tap there on the way out. Unfortunately, he will clip me. The jump attack comes out and he does catch me. That doesn't catch me with the R2. It's interesting that he's playing around with it. I think I'm able to get that roll punished there. However, he's going to be the one, the backstab pressure there at long last. Does count for something, but not that time. I'm not able to make magic happen twice, and he is able to get a punish. We get the roll catch there with the crouch R1, and now almost manages to clip me with that. Had he actually dead angled that the other direction, he would have been able to hit me, I'm fairly certain. We do have the stock here coming out again, though, that extra little bits of damage. I'm going to swap over. Waste of time. And that's going to be... I don't think I'm actually able to come back on this one here. We are going to use that extra little bit of pressure. He doesn't call out the S stock, which is an interesting one. I set it up again, managed to get that little bit of... I thought that would be enough to kill him. It unfortunately was not. I don't know how players like Josh from Xbox are able to make phalanx work. I can't make head nor tail of it. It's a huge tool. It forces you to be able to keep neutral. I cannot for the life of me make it work. We're back on this. Didn't go for the swap. I thought to go for a whiff punish there. Unfortunately, he had hyper armor frames. That's bad. We see this unlocked play finally coming out here on the side of Kheim to try and keep me at bay. I go for a run attack. He now has me where he wants me. I go for that unlocked crouching R1, being able to leverage the frames a little bit better. He goes for the jump attack, clips me there. I managed to call out his R2. I'm in the corner. It's not the first time he's done it, but that's almost going to be that, as I managed to force him back once again. Managed to get out of the corner. The HTS swap comes out here on the side of Kheim. He tries to go for that trade to put me away. Unfortunately, I'm having none of it, and then I'm able to punish the Frostpot, making it, of course, 3-9. And now we're here, unfortunately, judging by the video, ladies and gentlemen, you can see that we're very close to finish. He's going to be here in the background managing to go for that jump attack. He knows now. Goes for the unlock play there once again as well. Unlock play once again. Really nice on the side of Kheim. Whiff punishes the backstab attempt. I should really just stop going for them. Fishing in this game was never a viable strategy in most tryhard sessions in these games. And go for the roll catch there, trying to equalize it. I'm still not out of the fight yet. I managed to roll out that run R1 on the side of Kheim. Kheim there, sitting pretty there in the midfield. I'm forced back into the corner. I go for that. Is he going to whiff punish it? He reads I'm going to go for a backstab there. Managed to force him down just a little bit. We're both very, very low here. I'm one shot. He's probably two shot. He goes for the whiff punish. I roll it out once again. Takes center field. Nice spacing on my part for a change. Trying to go for that whiff punish. However, I don't manage to capitalize. That's the tier proc. And unfortunately, I went for the stock there, as opposed to going for the Halberd. Had I gone for the Halberd there, he would have interrupted me anyway. He called it out quite nicely. But that, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, is that. Beautiful display there of Serpent Hunter play on the side of Kheim. Fairly basic, not an awful lot of fancy stuff going on with it. But highlighting the use of fundamentals that he's able to leverage there in those exchanges. My roll discipline was unfortunately not good enough. It was not up to snuff. I wasn't quite sure how to keep him off me once I was in that close. And he was just, at his leisure, was able to just pressure me to death repeatedly and frequently. But I hope during my commentary and watching that gave you some food for thought in your own matches. Thank you all for watching. If you have watched this far, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Give unto me the blessings of the algorithm gods, and of course, in the description you'll find links to all of Kheim's socials. Cheers again, everyone, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.